guys, now I want to talk about gear choices. So I'll go over my gear and let you know what I use, and then let you know what I think is fine for you to use, or what works, or what might be the best option. So one of the first things I want to start with talking about, which is different than most people use, is a hard pad. Now, this is a large hard pad. I got it custom made for myself. The reason I use a hard pad is because I got used to it a long time ago, and I liked that there was less friction, meaning it moved faster than a cloth pad, so it's easier to control recoil. It actually could be considered harder for some people who get used to a cloth pad because it's so much faster. This is where it's, again, preference, guys. I would actually probably recommend most of you starting out to use just a large cloth pad because it's more consistent over time. I use probably 3 or 4 of these hard pads a year, but I'm a pro, so I can get them for free. That's personal preference, so you need to find out what you like to use. Then, in terms of mouse and that preference, you got to acknowledge what grip is most comfortable. This is a Logitech G305. I use a palm grip. I don't really like this mouse as much as you'd think I might because I used a similar mouse in the past. This is a palm grip. A claw grip is here. A claw grip sometimes is better for these small mouse that have less forms for your hand to fit in. You know what I'm talking about? There's larger mouse that kind of force your hand to hold it a certain way. I would say those are better for a palm grip, but again, it's preference. People with claw grip like these, because it's very easy to kind of find your finger points and just kind of hold on to it the way you want. Whereas with a larger mouse, I don't have any examples right here, you would want to use a palm grip because it fills your hand more. Find your comfort with what kind of grip you want to use, and that will also help you acknowledge your sensitivity and make it feel better in that sense. Another thing to consider when getting a mouse is if it's ambidextrous or ergonomic. I like ambidextrous, meaning it's right or left-handed, because I found that I could move my grip in ways that I want depending on where my hand is on the mouse pad. Sometimes you get caught this way on the edge of a mouse pad and sometimes this way. I found ambidextrous was easier for my hand to control both directions. If you have a right-handed or a left-handed mouse that you like, more power to you. I would say that if you're a claw grip user, you would probably be better off using an ambidextrous. But if you're a palm grip user, I would say you could kind of go either way. Now, keyboard. Keyboard is actually something I think isn't as big of a deal as long as it's a mechanical keyboard. Mechanical keyboards are important because you can press a bunch of keys at once and there's a certain type of feel that is consistent with them. Right now I'm using a keyboard with cherry switches, and I just think as long as you have a solid keyboard with cherry, brown, blue switches, you're going to be fine. I don't think switch is going to make a huge difference, it's just how much sound you want. As you can hear with the cherry, it's pretty loud. Blue's even louder, and brown is a little bit softer, so it might just be a feeling thing for you. Go try out what you think is best. When it comes to headphones, right now I'm using some wireless headphones. I think wireless technology for headphones and mice is better than it has ever been before. When I was working with Logitech, we tested out some wireless mice that were faster and more responsive than a lot of the top wired mice on the market. In terms of headset, wireless headset's great when I'm streaming because I can walk around the room. They cut out sound. The one I use, I'm using some HyperX Flights. Logitech makes some good ones. I'm not biased to any one brand. A lot of the brands make some great gear. One thing I wanted to say is that people overanalyze their sound. They think I have some pro sound. And one story I like to kind of anecdotally share with you guys is when my team, Cloud9, won the EPL Season 4 Finals in Brazil, and we beat SK for the finals, I was actually using $8 Panasonic in-ears on the stage under the helicopter headphones. The helicopter headphones that we use on stage are meant to block out the crowd noise. White noise is actually being played in those headphones. We only use the mic from them, and then CS sound comes through the in-ears. And I was using $8 in-ears, guys, plugged directly into onboard sound, and still hearing just fine. So don't overanalyze sound. Learn to recognize what sounds mean, and your headset should be just fine, guys. Find gear that's comfortable for you and that works for you, and any of the top gaming brands are generally going to provide gear that will help you play just like the pros.